Start with a little story. I want to start with a little story because I want to tell you how I got to this point and where this program was born from. So as most of you know, because I've met each of you, almost each of you individually, I spent many years in the restaurant and hospitality industry. I managed restaurants, I managed food service operations, sold espresso equipment, all these things. I was married in 1991 for the first time. And in 1999, I went through this little thing called separation and divorce. And as I went through that process, I realized that my life was a jumble. Honestly, it was a jumble. Nothing seemed to be working right. I felt like I was going through the motions. I was actually having terrible headaches, and I was having blood pressure issues. I was having cholesterol issues. I wasn't eating well. I wasn't sleeping properly, and I wasn't taking care of myself. Everything felt like it was out of order. At some point in time, I was working a few different jobs at the same time because I wanted to allow time for me to spend with my son. And I thought to myself, this cannot go on because I surely will die at a young age, which I didn't want to do. And I didn't want to follow in the footsteps of my father's side of the family, where 3 generations before me hadn't lived past 60. And so I said, I really need to do something to get my life back on the track where I want it. And I started reading. I poured myself into reading. What I realized is that all I can do is work on myself and learn how to respond to the environmental things around me and adjust my life accordingly to those things to move constantly toward a better place in my life. And so I started pouring myself into books, sales and marketing books, business books, spiritual books, personal development books. And this program was born of that. And actually, going through that process is the reason that I came to healthcare. And I personally think it should be called human care. But that's the reason that I came to healthcare, because I realized that I wanted to do things in my life that matched who I was as a person, which meant doing things that affect the quality of other people's lives, that help people. And so I came to healthcare starting in 2000, beginning in the adult daycare industry. And I recognized quickly that healthcare is where I was supposed to be. So this program, the Mind, Body, Spirit Connection to Wellness, was born from that struggle, that internal feeling like nothing was going right. And so this program was born for that. The first several times I've done this presentation, I developed it originally for senior groups that I was talking to. When this group invited me, which I'm proud to be a part of, when you guys invited me to speak and do this presentation, I revamped the whole thing to bring it to a place, hopefully, where everyone gets something. And listen, I'm not telling you have to get something, but I do hope that everyone gets a morsel, a nugget, something that they need right now. And you know, if I've touched you in a positive way or touched you in a negative way, you can share that with me at the end. So I'm going to skip my bio since Joe already did that gracefully. Thank you, Joe. So what we'll talk about today, we will define wellness. We'll look at the difference between wellness and fitness. Sometimes people think that those are the same thing. We'll look at the components of wellness, what I consider the components of wellness for this presentation. We'll talk about how we can improve our wellness, and we can always improve. And we'll look at the way all of these things are interconnected. I think that's important because for me, as I indicated earlier, it started with knowing I wasn't on the right track, having physical health issues, having emotional health issues, and not taking care of myself. And so I had to do something different. So first, I want you to consider, and this is different for each of you, what does wellness mean to you? And especially as we ourselves age and as the people who we serve continue to age. Everybody should have a different definition of what wellness means to them. Maybe it means travel. Maybe you want to go, to this spot in Greece. I think it's Greece. Maybe it means fitness, that you want to be more active, physically active. Maybe at the bottom of the screen there, you see a beautiful stream. Maybe you want to be outdoors more. Maybe you want to travel more. Maybe you want to find a higher or different spiritual self. Maybe you want to find a home that you can age well into. So consider as we go through, what does wellness mean to you? It has to mean something to each of us, because I'm not here to dictate what wellness is for Wendy or for Joe or Rebecca or anything of that nature. It is about finding your own path. What works for me may not work for you, but this is meant to encourage the thought process. So wellness is defined as the quality or state of being in good health, especially as and this is the important part, as an actively sought goal. Wellness is not going to hit us on the head. I didn't just go through the process and say, I want to be well and expect something to fall from a tree and hit me. It has to be an actively sought goal. What are you going through? What do you want to achieve by finding a greater state of wellness? That's important because, like I said earlier, each person's journey is different. So what is the difference between wellness and fitness? For the purpose of this discussion, I define fitness as being sound mentally and physically. And I hope we can all agree on that. Being sound mentally and physically. So we all know that we probably remember when we were younger in school, we had to take the presidential physical fitness challenge. Does everybody remember that? You had to be able to run a certain distance within a certain time and do a certain number of pull-ups or something of that nature, and maybe even pull yourself up on a rope. That was some arbitrary governmental measure of physical fitness as a child, but that may have changed since then. But it also means being sound mentally. Especially in this day and age, with all of the wonderful factors and elements going on in the world, that the mental part of fitness is something we're starting to hear more and more about and focus on more and more, because it's becoming prevalent. It's becoming more. We recognize more the importance of mental wellness and mental well-being. And we're recognizing, especially as we go through all these crises with an international pandemic and violence and political strife and everything else, that being sound mentally and physically becomes more and more important with each passing day. So I look at wellness a little bit differently. Wellness is more all-encompassing. It includes the physical fitness. It includes the mental fitness. And it includes many other factors, many of which we're going to talk about. And at the end of this, I'll stop recording, and I want to have an engaging conversation to find out from everybody, what does wellness mean to you? And maybe something that you got from the program, or maybe something that you hope to get and didn't get. So, I always want it to be interactive for the benefit of all. So, in my opinion, and the way that I design this, I look at 4 general categories of overall wellness. I look at physical wellness, represented here at the bottom left of the screen, with the people doing yoga or stretching or whatever that is on the mat. I look at emotional wellness, that person who is on the middle left of the screen, who is seeking peace, in their environment. I look at the mental health, attitude, thinking, optimism, positivity, those types of things. That's the emotional wellness, and so on. And the environmental wellness is where we live, where we work, our community, being part of a family, being part of a group like this. That's what I look at as overall wellness. And if I'm going too fast, just alert me, one of our group leaders. I want to make sure that I'm not skimming over something that someone would like more information on.
I think the pace is excellent, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you. So physical wellness, let's look at that first. Physical wellness is taking care of our bodies for optimal living. So I said earlier that I started in healthcare in 2000. And as you all know, I met my wife in 2004, the wife I'm married to now, obviously. And she was always very fit and very active, and she liked to take walks together. When we first started dating in 2004, I could barely complete a mile walk. I always thought I was physically fit because I lifted weights when I was younger and so on. And I could barely complete a mile walk without having shin issues, and my legs were tight for days. And I had to really take, a look at my own fitness and do something to look at that differently. Physical wellness is about building strength and endurance. Because first of all, so let me go back a step. Optimal living. See, it says taking care of our bodies for optimal living. That is what I think we should focus on for ourselves and for the people that we serve. Because at every stage in our lives, there's an optimal way we can live. When we're 20s, maybe our optimal living is going out and partying every night and waking up and what we used to burn the candle at both ends and so on. And for that person, that was optimal living back then, that they could do all those things and stay active and still work and be a functioning person. That was optimal living. For our seniors now, the people that we serve, somebody's taking a call. So for our seniors that we serve, optimal living may be being able to stay safe and well in their home and things of that nature. So optimal living changes as we continue to age. So we need at every stage to take care of our bodies, because that's the temple that we're going into our aging years and our senior years with. We need, as I mentioned, building strength and endurance, because in order to go through life, in order as we age well, we want to build strength and endurance for balance. We want to build strength and endurance for minimizing our risk of injury or long-term injury. Physical wellness also includes our cardiovascular health. If we do not take care of our heart, we will not be around to take care of those around us. I mentioned earlier, 3 generations before me on my father's side did not live past 60. My father died at 59 of lung cancer, smoked 38 years, didn't have good cardiovascular health, but it was cancer that took him first. My grandfather, my paternal grandfather, and my paternal great-grandfather did not live past 60. They actually died at 58 or 59 of heart disease. They weren't following physical wellness. They weren't eating right. And all these things that I'll talk about. And I use that as a model of what not to do. So taking care of our cardiovascular health. I'm proud to say now, I just referenced a few moments ago that when I first met my wife, I could barely walk a mile. This past Sunday, we did 5 miles and I was ready to do 5 more miles. And so you build. It's not going to happen overnight. But if you look at it the same way as you would look at eating an elephant, you do it one bite at a time, one thing at a time. You find one thing that you want to change in each thing and you keep going. Brain health. We take care of our physical body, our muscles, our cartilage, our ligaments. We take care of our bones by the exercise and the wellness that I just described. But we need to take care of our brain as well. That is part of physical wellness. So we need to find the right foods, and we're going to talk about that. And then flexibility. If we don't learn to be flexible as we're younger and as we continue to improve our physical wellness, that will help us if we continue to take care of those things and continue to learn to be flexible. That will help us as we age well to prolong our muscle strength. It will help us to reduce reduce the risk of falls and balance issues and things of that nature. So those are the components of physical wellness that we talk about, that we'll talk about today. Emotional wellness. Emotional wellness is being attentive to thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. It doesn't mean doing anything that you want. You're attentive to your own. It starts with your own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. That you have the ability to deal with the positives and negatives of life. And listen, those two things together, we cannot affect what other people think. I cannot tell Joe what to think. I cannot tell Rebecca what to think or Meryl what to think. I can only be attentive to my thoughts, feelings, and behaviors and make sure that my thoughts, feelings, and behaviors don't spill over into affecting other people's behaviors. And emotional wellness is about making choices based on who you are and where you are in your own life. I say that, and that's important because you always hear people say, oh, that man's 80. I didn't know you could jump out of a plane at 80, or that person is 90. I didn't know she could climb Mount Everest at 90. You hear people say that. That is this preconceived notion of how a person is supposed to behave at a certain age or a certain time in their life. Each of us has our own life. So measure yourself against your own life, where you want to be and where you want to be as you continue to age. Spiritual wellness. So I threw in a little definition here. Spiritual wellness is a personal matter involving values and beliefs that provide a purpose in our lives. I say we look at harmony in our lives and how we relate in the greater world. I believe strongly that a lot of people confuse religion and spirituality. And I used to look at the religious figures in my life as hypocrites because they didn't practice what they preached, so to speak. my grandfather on my mother's side being one of them. And I'm sorry if I'm sharing too much information. I want to relate how I got to these points. But we look at harmony in our lives and how we relate in the greater world. It doesn't matter that we call, God, or Buddha, or Allah, or Jesus, or Hashem, or Fred. It does not matter those things. That we all can agree that things come from a higher place, that everything in our lives, everything that relates in the greater world, we're all interconnected. And so that's how I look at spiritual wellness. It's not a matter of what building you were raised in to pray, or what prayers you say out loud or to yourself, or anything of that nature. It is about how we relate in harmony and how we relate in the greater world. Environmental wellness. First, it's the home. Is the home we live in right for us now? And are we able to maintain the environment which we live in? Are we able to maintain it? My in-laws have this huge, beautiful home that was great when they moved in 30 years ago. But it's hard for them to care for it now without the right help. And so our home is our key environment. We come here, it's our haven, it's where everything stems from. So it has to be right for us now, the way we live, and then it has to be right for us to age well into. That's environmental wellness. Is it clean and safe? So we know that sometimes a lot of the seniors and families that we work with, they like to, and I'm going to say it in the nicest way possible, they like to hold on to things. And sometimes they hold on to a lot of things. And that means that the home might not be safe for them to continue even to walk around in. Environmental wellness. We look at the area that we live in. Is the area right for us to live in? Is it, for example, if you get to a point in your life where you don't drive anymore, if you lived out in a rural area and it was, 15, 20 mile drive to get anywhere that you needed to go, you consider as you age, is that home that's in the rural area away from everything, is that right for me to live in? Maybe I need to be more, closer to a more, important area, when maybe closer to a hospital, maybe closer to where your loved ones are. So you have to consider if the area itself is right for you. And environmental wellness means that we have a positive impact on those around us, and that environment, those people around us also have a positive impact on me. When I do this discussion in a senior building, some of our seniors find themselves, and they've related to me afterward, that they sit at the same table for lunch every day with the same people, and that Nancy at the table is always negative. And so Nancy might be a negative, an environmental strain on the other people at the table. So I say, get up and move to another table. So we have to consider environmental wellness. Is everything right for us as we move forward? So let's look at each one and what we can do to improve wellness. Let's talk about physical wellness first. I should have used the word movement because the word exercise scares people sometimes. So let me call it this: purposeful movement. Has anyone ever asked, whether it's a senior, a child, or anyone else, do you want to move today? Everyone will raise their hand. Everyone wants to move. But if you say, do you want to exercise today? Not as many hands are going to go up, because everybody has a different sense of what is exercise. And it scares people because they think you have to join a gym or you have to push amount of weights or anything else. It's just about purposeful movement So one of the things we can do is, I said this past Sunday, I walked 5 miles. That's 5 miles is nothing for me. Uh, we got a dog in 2014. We were married in 2008. We got a dog in 2014. He has helped me move more purposefully. And by him doing that, he's helped me get healthier. He's helped him get healthier, and my wife as well. So it's about movement with a purpose. I didn't start by going from the 1 mile from 1 mile to 5 miles. It's about increasing your movement. And if you only do 10 minutes of movement a day, that's fantastic. Try tomorrow to do 15 minutes of movement. Don't go, I'm going to walk a mile. I'm going to walk 2 miles. That's just not realistic. So you have to find purposeful movement that suits your lifestyle, but that has a physical benefit to you. Okay. 30 minutes of movement. Lately we've begun counting steps. Everybody has one of these smartphones. See, it's not so smart if you can't hold on to it. Everybody has one of these smartphones that helps you count your steps, or some of us have watches that allow us to do that. So that's purposeful. And here's some of the things you can do. Here's some odds and ends that I throw in for you. I like to park my car not at the closest spot to the building. I like to park my car at the furthest spot from the building, not because I'm afraid of scratches on my car, but because those extra steps in my life are going to add years to my life. It's purposeful movement. It could be as simple as that. If you can't run, it could be in a senior building. It could be walking up and down the hall. If you don't want to walk outside in the heat, go to a mall, a shopping mall, or Wegmans, or a store like that, and walk around the store at a good pace. There's always a way if you choose to do it purposefully. Health maintenance is the second part of physical wellness. Health maintenance first starts with understanding your family health history. So I, as I mentioned earlier, had a family history of heart disease. 10 or 15, actually about 12 years ago now, I had a test called cardiac calcium scoring to have a picture of my heart, how the valves work and how everything flows, because I wanted to reduce my risk of doing the same thing that happened to my relatives. So understanding your health first, and your family history first, understanding those things, and then purposefully doing something differently to maintain that. I mentioned earlier that I had, when I went through divorce, that I had blood pressure issues and cholesterol issues, and I was having headaches. I found the causes of all of those things with diet, with movement, with stress reduction, and I got my health to a better place. I am healthier. I just turned 58 on Sunday. I'm healthier at 58 than I was at 38. And I'm proud to say that. Well, each of us can take control of our own health maintenance. It means going to the doctor when you're regularly supposed to go to the doctor. And it means if the doctor advises you to do something, that you do it, or seek a second opinion. And if both opinions jive, then you do it. Again, each of us has to find our own way, but these are things that you can do for yourself and then encourage others to do to change our direction in life. Proper diet. In order to have a good physical body, we have to feed the body with the right food. Your diet should always have a lot of color in it. A lot of color in your diet does not mean eating M&Ms or Skittles or peanut M&Ms. Those things are good, but it means eating fruits and vegetables. It means adding things that are red, and a lot of things that are green, and a lot of things that are orange, and those types of things for a proper diet to keep your physical wellness up. Sleep. We all think we can go without sleep, but sleep is critical to your physical wellness, your emotional wellness, and your spiritual wellness. And then going again, we talked about maintaining good brain health. Good brain health, you do exercises to use your brain. Here's some simple things you can do. Do not go home from work the same way every day. Go home a different way. You learn to, and this helps your body and your brain, learn to use your other hand in doing normal tasks that you do, like in your morning grooming, brushing your teeth. Learn to brush your teeth with both hands. Learn to do some other aspects of your hygiene with both hands. It actually helps your brain, and it helps you in the event that, God forbid, you have a stroke or some other illness that limits your ability with your dominant hand. It allows you to already have use of your other side that you've trained to use. But maintaining good brain health is also about doing puzzles and about challenging your brain, about reading good things to put in your brain. It's about not going to bed on the evening news. It's about going to bed with positive thoughts. It's about maintaining that good brain health. How can we keep our brain healthy? Here's some of the things. Physical health, we can stay active. We can have our regular health screenings. We can manage our chronic health conditions with the proper exercise, with the proper medication if we need medication. Okay, manage those chronic health conditions. Proper diet can lead to better brain health. Limiting alcohol consumption can lead to better brain health. Quit the smoking. The smoking was never good. Okay, take medications properly as indicated. And if you take a large number of medications, and many of our seniors do as well, and some people on this call may as well, not that there's anything wrong with that, but make sure from a pharmacist, from a specialist, that all of your medications can work well together. That's important. And again, for our brain health, proper sleep. How else can we affect our brain health? Manage our blood pressure. High blood pressure can lead to the increased possibility of stroke and other brain illness. We need to eat brain healthy food. I have a picture over here on the top left of salmon, of avocado, Brussels sprouts, again, going back to that diet. We need to drink plenty of water, okay? Plenty of water. Again, always check with your physician as the amount of water you drink, but many say that you should drink your body weight in ounces of water. So if I weigh 190 pounds, I should drink 190 ounces of water a day. But again, check with your physician regarding your health conditions and everything else also. We should exercise our brain. Don't do the same things every day. Don't do the same. Change your routine. Read things different. Go out and get in nature. Do things to exercise and stimulate your brain. Meaningful social activity and connectedness. Look at these folks playing guitars. Some of them look to be maybe older than 20. So it's maintaining social activity and connectedness and reducing or eliminating stress. We all wish we could eliminate stress. If we learn to reduce it and find ways to manage it, that's more realistic. We probably aren't going to be able to eliminate stress. How about to improve my emotional wellness? To improve my emotional wellness, I first need to know who I am, not who people tell me I should be, not who people, because I'm 58, I should act this way and do this and do that. I need to establish who I am and establish my own goals in life. I need to establish my priorities. As I mentioned earlier, when I went through divorce, I didn't know what was important. When I started to read, when I started to pour myself into books, both spiritual reading and positive mental attitude books, I learned that my priorities in life were off. I learned that, and I developed a simple judgment for my system for myself. I thought to myself, and my son at the time was 4 years old, he's now going to be 26. I thought to myself, if I had to report to my son every day, what did I do A through Z? Does that fit into, first, would I be able to tell him all the things I did today? Realistically. And B, does that match who I am? So when I looked at my life through that system, I had to take things out of my life that didn't fit. And I'd like to say that I'm a lot more emotionally well now than I was. I had to establish what was important to me. I had to, and this is the choice we make every day, I had to choose positivity over negativity. Choose positivity over negativity. I had to surround myself with positive people. It's one of the reasons why I get on this with this group, because you're some of the most positive people I've ever been around. I believe that we need to seek help when necessary. Sometimes that help isn't our spouse, but someone outside of our family that's impartial, that can help us see things a different way. I believe that we need to actively seek to reduce stress in our lives, that we need to feed our head with positive mental attitude and uplifting material, that we need to greet every day with joy. And again, the sleep is critical to our physical, our emotional, and our spiritual wellness, and also our environmental wellness. If we're sleepwalking and we fall down the steps, that could lead to possible, serious injury. So here's what I look at as positive attitude defined. It's the state of mind that pictures good things and creates good expectations for outcomes. And these are quotes and things that I found. It's a mental attitude that sees the good and the accomplishments in your life rather than the negatives and failures. It's a thought process that helps you see and recognize opportunities. And it's a mental attitude that focuses on the bright side of life. Here's what it is. I say it in the most simple terms especially when I speak to our seniors. We have two choices when we woke up today. We can greet our day and count our blessings. We can say, what am I thankful for today? And if we're only thankful that we woke up, that's great to build our day on. Say, I'm thankful that I woke up today. Good things are going to happen. And when we go through the day with that positive attitude, we invite more good things. But other people that woke up, they woke up and they counted their curses. Why did I have to get up so early? Why is it so bright out? Why is it hot today? A lot of these things are outside of our control. And when you go through the day, starting with your curses, counting your curses, you'll find more things wrong by the end of the day. I can't see you all because I minimize the screen, but I bet if I asked you to raise your hand, how many of you woke up and counted your curses today? None of you would raise your hand. Okay? Because every single one of you is so positive. You wake up and you greet the day with joy. That's critical to finding the positive things you need in your life. If I would have woken up every day and said, this is horrible, and then try to go out and do good, it's not going to work. If I would say, I'm going to be physically healthy, but then have a terrible attitude, that's not going to work. So you're starting to see how we weave these things together. So, sorry, let me go back one. So, gratitude. Gratitude is a big part of emotional wellness. And gratitude, showing gratitude over time, truly feeling grateful, boost. And this is a quote from Psychology Today. Again, it's not the end all and be all of mental health sources, but it's a great resource in this sense for this presentation. Over time, feeling grateful boosts happiness and fosters both physical and psychological health, even among those already struggling with mental health problems. Going through divorce was very tough for me. But when I started to put these pieces in order, I'm much healthier, much happier, much more joyful. And part of that is being grateful for what I have, focusing on what I have, not what I don't have, being grateful for what I have, and being grateful to those around me who have contributed. And gratitude doesn't just mean I tipped the waiter $5. I'm grateful. It's beyond that. People who are grateful feel less pain, less stress. They suffer insomnia less. They have stronger immune systems. They experience healthier relationships and do better academically and professionally. Overall, being positive, being grateful can boost both your mental and your physical health. It's all woven together. How stress plays a part in brain health. Stress is a normal factor in our lives. We have to recognize that. In the short term, stress can affect our ability to focus and concentrate during activities. And many of us have been in those stressful situations. You can't focus on anything. My wrestling coach used to say not to have a girlfriend and during wrestling season because you can't focus on either one. And he was right. Especially my senior year, it told me that. Over time, if we let stress become chronic, it can change the brain negatively. It can affect our memory or even increase our risk of dementia. Stress can affect our heart, which can in turn affect our blood flow, which can adversely affect our brain health and even increase our risk for stroke. Stress is not our friend. Some people say, I'd love to work from a stressful place. Yes, that's good for a few minutes, but maintaining that over a long period of time will only have harmful effects. Reducing stress, we can increase our movement and exercise. We can do Tai Chi and yoga is also great for flexibility. We can maintain a proper diet. Maybe for some it's sunlight, being out in the sunlight, walking or gardening, listening to music, finding spiritual activity, drinking chamomile tea, something you can physically do, aromatherapy, laughter. If you've been around me long enough, you know I love to laugh, and I'm laughing all the time. How do you like to relieve your own stress in your own life? Think about that. How about spiritual wellness? How can I improve my spiritual wellness? I have some pictures again. Feed my spiritual self with prayer and positivity. There's actually, I'm Jewish. There's actually a Hebrew prayer. The ancient Hebrews believed that when you go to sleep, your soul leaves your body. And if God wants you to wake, God returned your spirit to your body. So there's actually a Hebrew prayer where you thank God. It's before you even put your feet on the ground, you thank God for returning your spirit to your body, that you return to God in faithfulness. And again, it's not about religion. That's how I choose to practice my spiritual self. But it's about also positivity and making sure that those aspects of your life are in line. If I say I'm a spiritual person, I'm a prayerful person, but I go out and treat everybody like they're less than I am, that my system's not going to jive. All aspects of your life, when they line up like this, can be truly beneficial. Actively seek spiritual uplifting. If you're not a spiritual person, there's some books that someone can recommend for you from different resources that can help you find that. Or talk to people that you know that are more spiritual than you and learn about their spiritual journey and what they found, and see if there's a nugget there that helps you. Maybe you pursue relaxing or meditative activities. We see this gentleman in the middle picture sitting high on a mountain looking for meditative or relaxing activity. Reread spiritual materials. That's what helped me get through it. And it wasn't just books on Judaism. I read books by Christian ministers, and I read about Buddhism, and I read about other things. I joined you can join a prayer group or a spiritual group. That's a way to improve your spiritual wellness. How about environmental wellness? I spoke about this earlier. Are you in the right type of home for you and for your lifestyle? Can you clean and declutter your home? My wife and I have a rule. Actually, it's my wife's rule, and I follow it because she's in charge. if we bring something into the home, like if we bring a piece of furniture, if we bring a set of dishes, then something has to leave. So if something comes in, something has to go, and you keep a balance. You look at your environment for safety issues. If the bathtub or shower or the stairs aren't safe for you anymore, have modifications done to your home. There's a wonderful company that's always part of this group and always part of the other groups. They can come in and modify your home. Seek help from resources available like home care agencies. We know there may be 1 or 5 or 10 home care agencies that join a presentation like this. So there's resources available. There's home health, or maybe you need to be in an assisted living community or live in a different home. My wife and I live in a townhome. We'd like to live in a larger home, but it has to be a home that we can age well into, that has a master bedroom and bath on a main level without 1,000 steps. So you need to consider your environment as you continue to age well and make sure that it matches your lifestyle and it's a place that you can age well into. Seek help from a home care agency that can help you stay safe and thrive in your home. And again, as I mentioned, look at those modifications. So how do all these things factor together? For me, it was getting all aspects of wellness moving in the same positive direction for the changes to have the greatest impact. And each can have an impact, but together they work exponentially. And I'm in so much better a place in my life. As I said earlier, I'm healthier at 58 than I am at 38. I'm emotionally healthier. When I need help, I know I need help and I know I can seek help. I'm not afraid to seek help. I'm not afraid to ask for help. That doesn't make me less of a person. It only means that I'm emotionally mature, emotionally healthy, that I can do that. And I work in every aspect of these things: physical wellness, spiritual wellness, environmental wellness, and emotional wellness. I work on those things constantly, purposefully, so that I can continue to become a better person, to serve my community well, and be an example. I can't talk to seniors or talk to their families about health and wellness if I don't maintain health and wellness for myself. So those are the things that I've done to help me maintain a healthier lifestyle and to help me create a mind, body, spirit connection that works for me. So I'll stop recording and stop sharing, and we can go to questions. Mike, you can stop recording.
Just give me a sec.
All right. Thank you.